Hey guys, I am so sorry that this video is a little bit late. I am going to be doing a tutorial on growing fractions. Fractions, when you multiply them, do they grow or do they shrink? In technical terms, the standard says it's called multiplication as scaling. So scaling means that the number is either going to grow or it's going to shrink. And so because you had some work with that today, I am doing this video. So let's get to it. What is this called? We used to say it was an improper fraction. No! This is now a fraction greater than a whole. Got it? 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 Okay. So, because this is a fraction greater than a whole, something happens when I multiply it by a number. And this is a regular fraction. It is not greater than a whole. Something happens when I multiply by a fraction that's less than a whole. And when I multiply by a fraction greater than a whole, let's see what happens. Now, because the standard is mainly about reasoning, you don't have to solve this. Oh, this glare is annoying. Okay. You don't, and that's not any better. Sorry. You don't have to solve this. What you have to do is reason. So you're saying if I multiply 1/3 by a fraction greater than a whole, is my product going to be greater than 1/3 or less than 1/3? That's the thinking that you have. This is what the standard is calling for. If I multiply a fraction by a fraction that's less than a whole, what's going to happen is my product's going to be greater than 1/3 or less than 1/3. So for the first time around, we can go ahead and multiply and we would get 5/12, right? You kind of want to say, well, obviously 5/12 is greater than 1/3 because 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12, right? So yeah, when I multiply this fraction by a fraction greater than a whole, my product is greater than 1/3. So this number actually grew, okay? Now, let's look down at the bottom. 1/3 times 2/3. Well, we can solve it for now just to help us with the thinking. So we're going to go, the product is 2/9. Well, we already know that 1/3 is equal to 3/9. So when I multiply by a fraction less than a whole, my product actually is smaller than 1/3. Okay? So we just did the solving part. Remember, this standard does not call for you to solve. It calls for you to reason. So we're going to practice reasoning. Ready?
I spilled something on the couch.
Roxy would like to know, you did what?
I spilled something on the couch by accident.
What did you spill on the couch?
It's a thing. I was trying to clean it though.
You better clean it. Don't use that. Use soap and water. Roxy would like to know, if I multiply 1/5 times 6/2, is my product going to be greater than 1/5 or less than 1/5? What do you think, Roxy? What do y'all think? I'm waiting. Think about it. She said she's finished. Anybody? Well, without solving, I would know that 1/5 times 6/2, the product is going to be greater than 1/5 because I multiplied by one of these, a fraction greater than a whole. Okay, let's try another. Okay. Yeah, that trash needs to go out. So let's look at this one. When I multiply this fraction by this fraction, will my product be greater than 3/5 or will it be less than 3/5? Without solving. If you said that it's going to be less, you are correct because we are multiplying by a fraction that's less than a whole. Okay? So Brianna wants to do one, but she is a 10th grader. So, oh boy. Goodbye. All right, guys. So you will get questions asking you if it will be greater than, less than, you have to just keep in mind that when you are multiplying by a fraction greater than the whole, that your product will be greater than that first fraction or that first factor, okay? If you multiply a fraction by a fraction that's less than a whole, then your product is going to be less than the first fraction or the first factor. And that is multiplication as scaling. Bye. Thanks so much for coming to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys had a good time. And I hope you enjoyed multiplication and scaling with fractions. And I'll see you later.